Yo, chat. The podcast I'm usually on now, or an hour from now, we decided to go pre-recorded because a lot of people had other things to do on Saturday. So my Saturdays have freed up a little bit. This video is kicking my ass. I have a plan. I'm thinking I'm going to enact it tomorrow if the full rules for Kill Team didn't get posted up as a PDF. It's going to involve Greg and my rulebook, so it should be fun. But we got so much to build. Hopefully the camera holds. It took me a second. I had to readjust the camera, and then I was looking at the feed and it kept flickering. I was like, no. So look at this. Look at this nonsense. I almost swore off terrain completely. Look at this. Like, Jesus Christ. But then I looked into... Oh, I know I need that as an opener. Then I looked into the Vulcus stuff. And Vulcus is actually kind of cool. And you have to build it... oh, Jesus. You have to build it very exacting to the rules. Because every building in Vulcus is like... It's 100% like, oh my god. What's up, Quendy? Thanks for swinging through and saying hi. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. So I tried co-op today. Tried a little co-op. I will say, if you want to get into co-op, to, you know, get started learning the rules, maybe playing with friends just to have fun and kind of experience things, whatever rules they give you, lean into it as sort of a suggestion. Right? Like, I didn't look too far into the rules for co-op. I kind of just generalized it, looked at it a little bit, and was just like, whatever, we'll figure it out. And then today when I was at the store, I was like, all right, let me actually figure it out. And the more I looked at it, the more I was like, oh, there's a lot missing. Oh, no. They're very clear on their suggestions, but their suggestions are kind of incomplete. Like, the NPOs are always supposed to skip in the strategy phase, which I'm guessing is just general. I mean, NPOs don't get their own stratagems. So I guess, like, just to clarify that, you know, you don't get stuck in a stratagem phase by using your abilities and then having the NPOs not be able to do anything. They clarify that they do, you know, actually, they don't have any strats and all that. The first game I played, I actually, with the person I played who hadn't even looked at the rules yet, I was trying to figure out a way to, like, teach them with co-op. I'm realizing I'm not a good, like, on-the-spot teacher. I would definitely need to create, like, a curriculum almost for this kind of a thing. Because I kind of just chucked him in. I was like, yeah, let's just get to rolling dice and see how you feel. So, mostly what we looked at were orders, unit abilities, and actions. That was the first game we played, was me just going over that. I started talking about, like, all the other stuff that could happen. But we didn't really get too far into, like, using equipment, using ploys. It felt good, but it also felt like, oh, you know, I'm finally getting back into it after how much time? We'll see. My Saturdays are a bit more open, so it depends on what I'm doing. Depends on, like, just general stuff I'm looking into getting done. But good to see you again, Diver. I mean, it's a Saturday night, so there's just 1,000,001 things people could be doing right now instead of, like, checking this out. Saturday nights are huge. Huge. You gotta be some kind of degenerate to not be doing anything and hanging out here with me. Building small plastic sculpture. But yeah, I used my Warp Covenant co-op. The person I was playing with used a bit of my Hearthkin, my salvagers. It was fun. We did close quarters specifically. I actually took my terrain to the store. I know, right? Dude, I'm super excited though. Like, I'm so hyped up because there's so many people right now at the store that are like, oh, we got our kill teams together. We can't wait to learn. Part of me is like, yo, I will show up bright and early on a Saturday. And if you all want to show up with, like, your teams, or even without, like, if we want to just run it as, like, I will give you examples of things that work and ways to use abilities. And then you will go off, learn about your team, look at their abilities, and go, ooh, that's cool because this will, you know, this will override that, or this will allow me to do this. Like, big, big shifts, big changes. Also, we got to figure out a paint scheme for this terrain. I do not want to spend 100 hours painting this terrain like I did my Nockman terrain. Wall numero uno. Hopefully that was the right wall. I'm pretty sure it was. It looks like it. C1, we got it. C4, 3, and 2. But yeah, you have to build these 2 specs, so we got to be very exacting with them. Oh, dude. So, definitely figure out what kind of system you want to run for co-op. Because the co-op campaign... Let me move some stuff real quick. You don't have access to the approved ops, or you could if you want, I guess, if you could figure that out. But the actual... Let me de-brighten this. There you go. It goes through NPO behaviors, it goes through kind of the mission pack, but it doesn't really tell you, like, a lot of stuff. Like, there's nothing in here. You select, you roll for initiative. That's basically it. So there's no scouting step. Gambit NPOs will always pass, but, like, there's no information in here about stratagems, which is probably a good thing, because if you're going to play multiple teams in here, it's going to be weird to have, like, a single stratagem pool and to go between. So it's like, eh. It also it goes, NPOs will operate hatches when capable. It gives you their stats. They tell you to increase wounds as you see fit for difficulty ratings. The mission we did was this one. This is just, you either kill everyone or they kill you. And that's it. So we basically pulled up to here, kind of held as the NPOs came to the door. I had mostly melee. That was probably a mistake. I had one ranged guy that I completely exploded using a Doom Bolt. But yeah, it would basically be they came to the door, we came to the door. The ones in here started coming to this spot. You don't get any scouting or equipment in this structure, so there was no stuff. Although they do say equipment NPOs can only take standard, but equipment, the only thing that exists right now that tells you how much equipment you can take is approved ops. So you'll have to homebrew how much equipment, what kind of equipment you think you're going to take, all that kind of stuff. Threat principles were pretty good. But yeah, we did this just because it's killing. This one actually involves mission actions, which is a little bit rough, as well as reinforcements, which is kind of cool. So they have 3 general missions, and they give you examples of stuff. But I used my Death Guard for it. We actually we used the Death Guard as like the big guys. I used Nurgle Demons as like advanced, like the mid tier, and then we used Poxwalkers as the fodder, which technically kind of funny because the NPO, like the basic NPO stats, they move faster as NPOs than they used to as like regular units. But again, it's all very homebrewable. Like, you have a whole list of abilities you can look at among teams. Like, if you want to do what I did and run Death Guard, right? It might be worth you looking into how the Geller Pox work. That way you can see what the new type of Feel No Pain looks like. Feel No Pain is mostly roll a dice to reduce damage to a dice. That's all it really is. You're shaving a single damage usually off a total damage on a test, which is all right. It's a bit faster of a way to handle Feel No Pain. It feels less oppressive when someone rolls it, as opposed to what I used to do on Geller Pox, which was roll all of my Feel No Pains and reduce 20 damage to 2, which is always hilarious. But this way you can at least kind of meter out damage in a more consistent fashion, which gives itself a little bit of a better lean towards competitive as a game. Which team you thinking of playing? I'm probably going to go Warp Coven. The cards aren't out yet, apparently. They had boxes. They just didn't have cards for the teams, which kind of pissed me off a little. I think I might grab cards because, honestly, the app, not that good. I thought the app was going to be similar to how the 40K app and the AOS app is, but, like, there's no keywording. There's no quick links. None of it. It's just the app is a source of where you would download the PDFs, which... very peculiar. It sucks on phone because when you have your phone, you're always looking at it up and down. And then when you click it, the PDF is landscape. It's horizontal. So then you turn it, and when you turn it, it like skips a bunch of stuff. Like, it's just an awkward system. Oh, the new Recruit app, the one that's made by people. I thought cards were coming for every team. I just didn't see any cards, period. Like, they had maybe like 6 different teams on the wall. They just had no cards. Do we try to Tamiya this? Sometimes I hate Tamiya. Yeah, I thought a lot of people thought the app was gonna be like at least what the 40K app was. Which, if it was the 40K app and you could just click the information, like if you clicked a gun that had a rule, the rule would be hot links so that when you click it, it pops up and it's like, yeah, that's what this rule means. And you could be like, sweet, -1 to armor. Which is wild because honestly, if you look at the new Warp Coven rules, they need the cards. They genuinely need the cards. They're so rough with how much can happen with them, with their spells, with how every sorcerer you put on the field needs an upgrade on top of it. Like, that really needs a system built in. What sucks is I think I can't use the team I made anymore. Like, the actual team I built and painted like differently, which isn't the worst. I do have a Thousand Suns army, so I'm probably just gonna pull from over there. I mean, it really does end up being that the community always does best. They figure it out way better than others. They just get it right through trial and error. Usually, but they still, you know, they get it right. Oh God, Tamia, it's in my brain. It smells like citrus and brain cancer. Oh, I also got the special order stuff. I think when we build, we will actually use them. I think I'm going to use them on my Vespid. The Hero Clicks bases. Let me go grab them, actually, once I get this thing glued up. I don't think they're that good, personally. I'd much rather just prefer to use wound counters. Oh, God. No. This is why I hate Tamia. It's like, it's not actually glued. I see it on here. Like, I see the semi-clear stuff, and it's like, oh, that's glue. It'll hold. And then it just doesn't. What's up, Rax? You streaming tonight, buddy? I'm just gonna probably switch over to my actual glue. Give it some pressure. Maybe it'll hold, because it is supposed to melt the plastic together. So my plan, this table is actually really good at getting a table on it with terrain. I have to get a crossbar that doesn't touch the table so it doesn't vibrate when I tap it and stuff. And then I should be able to actually record co-op missions and battle reports here pretty effectively, I think. And then I need to figure out how to quickly do team overviews. That's going to be a big thing, I think. All right, we're close this. The ability to do a quick team overview is going to be pretty big. Because I want to get through the first-year teams as quickly as I can over the next month or two. That way people can see the first-year teams before they go away. Or not go away, but become uncompetitive, I guess we'll say, for at least a little bit. Do this one as well. I'm just going to use this glue. What's up? What's up, V? It's been a little while. I've been busy. Boom. Let me grab the Hero Click Spaces so you guys can take a look at them. So these were part of the if you ordered in-store bonus. Yeah, they showed the stuff. What do we mean? Is it just a new season starting? I've been trying to check stuff. I was at the store when the announcement trailers were happening, so I didn't get to quite see everything. I know that there's like a Doom wheel or something now, but yeah. These aren't that good, in my opinion. Like, I can barely see the wound counter in there. You're going to have to, like, shove putty in there to make sure it doesn't get primed, too. Like, you have to putty this whole thing. Like, this, not a good idea, in my opinion. Just generally, not a good idea. No, yeah, Warcom's been down for a while. Is there a big one? They give you enough. Here we are. They give you enough for one whole team. This is a huge counter. This is I think a Gellerpox size based. It only goes to 10, which means a Gellerpox I think has more wounds than this. Cool idea in concept. No, not so awesome for the execution, in my opinion. Wait, can you just remove? Oh my god. If you can, I kind of want to try to see if I can. Oh, you can. No way. Wait, no, can you? Or am I breaking it? I don't want to do it to that one. I think you can remove these. The bottom parts. I sort of want to try it, but I feel like as it gets to the end, it feels like it's binding on something. I don't want to do it. Yeah, but are the teams still accessible? Dude, I wouldn't even use these, period, honestly. I've seen people, there are 3D print versions of these online, but personally, I still prefer wound counters. Like the actual counters. I got these from Etsy, and I think they're still up on Etsy. It's pretty standard. Magnetized, so you can keep them in a stack, and you can track up to 39 wounds on something. Only 12 teams are coming up? Oh, God. Well, the Mirrored City teams, hopefully, because those were very recent. But my Ephilums, man. My Ephilums. Weird that they would restart, though. I mean, I guess they have to. It's getting really bloated. Sweet C5. Love it when I don't see any numbers. 4. This is it. Wait, no rivaled. Oh, wait. Wait, no rival decks? Wait a second. All right, this is something I'm going to have to look into. What's up, Alejandro? Yeah, I definitely need to look at where Underworlds is going, because there's one guy at the store who, like, that is exclusive. Like, Underworlds is exclusively his game. He doesn't play anything else. He has stopped playing all other formats because he's like, they don't interest me as much. He watches like 4 different podcasts about deck building in Underworlds because he really likes the Nemesis system, or I think it's the semi-build where you take a rival deck and one other deck and then build a complete finish. And like that's his thing. That's his jam. That's what he wants. And he has all the teams, all the cards. And if they're like, reboot, I don't know. So I've always had, in my opinion, this idea that Underworlds was actually a sleeper good idea that they didn't fully capitalize on. And I know that sounds terrible from like our perspective as, you know, customers, because capitalizing on something is basically what Magic the Gathering and Pokemon does, where they don't really care if people really like the game. They just care that people want to collect the goddamn cards. That's all they want. So for this, it would kind of... They had the ability with this to kind of create a structure of RNG, loot boxy card openings, you know, building like that perfect collection, not even playable deck, just collection of cards, and then just having it. And then maybe you get like a cool painted model or two that could use it. And there you go. I know people who have almost every Pokemon card and have never played the game. There are people who talk about buying Magic the Gathering cards as an investment and not just like, man, I can't wait to go to that draft tournament. And then Underworlds was like, we're going to use cards. And I was like, oh, cool. What structure are you going to use? And they were like, all pre-build. And it's like, oh. Okay. I mean, cool. Well, yeah, new things scare people. It's built in. It's the Garth Brooks quote. Change is scary. That kind of thing. People fear change, I think was what he said. But I agree. Yeah, we know it's new, right? We know it's something new. We know it's going to be a change. Let's see it. Did they say anything about like how it's coming out? Is it kind of staying pseudo free for at least like the general rules as it is now? Or are they backsliding? They reversing course. Because God, Underworlds is actually really fun. I got my buddy to play it. He had a good time. He thought it was great. Wait, is it just like hard dropping next week? I honestly feel like G-Dubs would be in a good position if they were able to shadow drop stuff. If they were just like, check out this new Inquisitor model. By the way, it's in store now. Like if they managed to get that to occur properly, that'd be awesome. But I mean, considering how like everything about them leaks at all times, it's probably never going to happen. They'd much rather just keep everything close to the chest. God, I have a whole box meant exclusively for Underworld's teams. I would hate for it to just be like, by the way, none of this is useful anymore. Because I got alternate art and everything. Oh, Warcom needs to go back up. I need to look into that article. I went to tournaments for this and got like acrylic tokens, alternate art cards. I actually got hugely lucky because the first tournament I went to had alternate art cards for my Ephelims. I love Ephelims. I love playing Ephelims. And they're really good. I mean, they are really good in general, but when we got to the end of the tournament, they were just like, here's alternate art cards, and it was Ephelim. So I was like, yay, sweet. All my enhancement, like all the upgraded versions, the gold versions, have alternate art now for me. And I kind of like it. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll figure out then, right? So you're saying no rivals decks, so it's only faction. So they want you to purchase, let me think about this. So they want you to purchase faction specifically. Okay. And then you would just stick to a faction. Is it specifically like death decks, life or death decks, order decks, chaos decks, and destruction decks? Is that the approach that they're taking then? And then you would just pick the deck. So like if I'm playing a Tzeentch team, I could go with like any chaos deck at that point. Did my glue already dry up on the top? Oh, it's only the rivals decks? They're just bailing on card. Oh my god, dude. The card building, the deck building community in shambles, if that's the case. Like, genuinely in shambles. Like, the things I have heard about those podcasts and those kinds of people who are like genuinely looking into the meta as hard as humanly possible. Oh, dude, the Deathwing game? Deathwing was actually kind of cool. I think they monetized it wrong. Like, they kind of screwed some people over. But, like, my friends and I played it as a co-op game early on, and we had a lot of fun. Just walking around as Terminators killing things. Oh. That's... okay. Oh, that's weird. I mean, I kind of get it, I guess. That's kind of limiting. That makes it feel like their core focus is on trying to get you... oh my god, how does this go in? On trying to get you to, it's like they're trying to get you to focus on just buying the team, I guess. That sounds a bit more... it sounds a bit more competitive in nature. Because you have... some of the biggest issues with what they were doing before was that, like, especially in Rivals, the team that just is the best is going to win, like, 90% of the time. There's, of course, you know, luck of card and draw. I mean, that's just the basis of card games in general, is that if you don't draw the cards you need, you're gonna lose. Congratulations. Oh, the new rats? Yeah. I saw pictures of them. They do look cool. Where am I going to put all this terrain, man? Dude, Arturo? For a week now, I have been piecing together an over an hour long video of all the rules for the core rules. Like, I'm not even going to talk about the whatever the ops are, the approved ops. I'm not talking about those. I don't go into any information about co-op. I don't get into the specifics on missions. I mostly just go over actions, all the different weapon rules. Like, a lot of the how to kill team videos I have already put out that are now redundant and just like not at all what they're supposed to be. I'm redoing it, basically. They're all coming back specifically in this new rule set. I was thinking of just doing an update video and being like, watch the old videos and then watch this video where I tell you the new differences. But then I started looking at the differences and I was like, that would be terrible. Because people would watch it and be like, okay, I get it, I think. And then they'd watch my video, which was just like, forget everything. That would suck so much. Oh no, I'm definitely gonna, because I think tomorrow we're gonna try to finish that video, the overall rules video. Because the PDF probably isn't coming out, which means I need to do the thing where I'm gonna have Greg standing on the pages in the book where I'm talking about information, and then I'll just take a picture of it so that people can see the book as I'm talking about it. But the video is literally like, I gotta pick music and I gotta finish some of the early overview sections and then it's done. And I'm just gonna put it together and drop it. I need to get a good thumbnail together for it. I wish the cover art was more easily accessible, although I could probably take a good lit picture of it and be fine. But yeah, we played co-op today. It was kind of cool. As I was saying, you need to homebrew some stuff. If you're just playing to start, it's fine, but you're missing a lot of elements of Kill Team in it, just due to how it's designed. So at some point you might want to figure out, you know, adding command points in. The gist is there, though. And honestly, everything that they do is suggestion. NPO behavior, once you figure out NPO behavior, you can easily just be like, all right, let's just, you know, trick them into doing things. Because once you run down the list of, all right, closest guy who can activate activates, can he do this? Yes, he has to do it. Once you figure that out, you're like, all right, I'll just throw this guy forward. It'll pull a person out, and then I'll shoot him. It'll be great. Because we were playing close quarters. It looks good. I'm actually hoping, while I'm doing the edit tomorrow, to set up the overhead camera potential here. That way I can just record co-op and record some battle report concepts. I am also a graphic designer. The question is, how do I want to run them? Because YouTube thumbnail algorithms are always weird. I've noticed that the less you put into a thumbnail tends to be better. If you have one focal point, some text, and then like a bright colored background, people seem to enjoy it. Some of my best videos are just my character, a thing next to him with an arrow pointing to it, some text, and then my orange background. And that's it. That's all it needs. Because they talk about it. When someone's scrolling through their feed, they usually give like a second or two to deciding what they want to click on. And because it's only like a second or two, you need to make sure whatever it is they're going to click on is just like super readable and easy right away. But that's crazy. I know I saw the pictures of the new team for Underworlds, and I think the guy that was at the store watching was watching it without audio. He was just looking at stuff. Because when he came over, he was like, that looks awesome. I was like, yeah, that does look awesome. But he did not go like, oh yeah, they're getting rid of like tons of stuff. Like had he been like, yeah, they're getting rid of tons of stuff, I'd be like, whoa. I need more information. I will say I didn't like from Underworlds, I didn't like the format of needing to basically buy the whole box set to get like some things you need, right? Like the fact that boards would usually cycle out, so you kind of needed more than one set of boards. So like you'd have to buy the whole box. Even if you don't want the teams, you had to buy the box. Enjoy getting the boards that way for a couple $100. That was a bit like, huh, I don't know. Especially when it comes to competitive play, since on average for competitive play, you're going to want as many options as possible to work from. So being like, oh, you could just buy a starter board and go with it. It's like, yeah, you can if you want to, you know, limit yourself. What's up, Cranston? This goes like that. I feel like I could magnetize this. Like I really do feel like I could magnetize this and get away with it. Always interested in how to flat pack this stuff. My favorite kill team? I really, really, really love my Warp Coven. I just do. And that's not even just because I'm a Thousand Suns head. It's not because the Thousand Suns are my jam. Okay, so the team rules are free, but we are looking at the possibility of the main rules not being free. Of course, you can just be like, screw it, and go to whatever website you want and look them up. And just be like, there we go. But they gave us the light rules, which is cool, but the light rules are missing a lot of stuff, which makes me think like, oh, that means they might release the full rules PDF after Hivestorm drops. But that's a big fingers crossed moment. I mean, granted, you'll be able to just watch my video and be like, I got it. Behold, the close quarters box. So for those familiar with Kill Team, I like the higher tech changes. I know a lot of people have pointed to some elements in it to be like, it's not that great. But there's some cool combos there. Like, I know people are just like, oh, the death marks don't get to teleport around anymore, and that makes me sad. And it's like, I get you. You know, I feel it. But I can pull them up while we wait for this to dry a little bit. We're going to try to chill for a bit tonight. But favorite team, probably Warp Coven. After year 1 is done, I might go over to Higher Tech, because Higher Tech play very close to how Warp Coven plays. Either that or I'll go to Hearthkin. I love Hearthkin. After playing Hearthkin a couple times, I'm like, man, why do these guys not win tournaments? Like, they're just so fun in, like, dumb ways. I love how, like, just awkward they are at all times. Higher attack. So one of the leaders, to my understanding, if I can find him, has the ability to teleport things. I think it's the Chronomancer. Form of 1 AP, that's the command. Select one friendly, kill zone. Yep. It's the Chronomancer. Select one expended friendly, so it has to be expended. I think that's kind of a problem. Although, what you can kind of do with that is you can adjust, like with a death mark, you could move the death mark to somewhere where it needs to do stuff, have him do the things, and then chill. And then this guy can maneuver, make the death mark move with a teleport, and then command it to shoot. So like there's fun things you can do with it. But the trick is that the apprentice can do all of these abilities, and they can do these abilities without overriding. Like, it used to be that if you had a single unit, or if you used a single ability on one of your leaders, you couldn't use it on the other. Now you can use them. Like, you can use both. It'll just override certain buffs or debuffs, or it'll just be an extra action. So a Chronomancer team with an apprentice can teleport 2 units around, which that is crazy. You can only teleport different units twice around. You can't teleport the same guy over and over. Blades of Cain. So the Blades of Cain, when they were first released, I'd have to re-download it, I think. Yeah. Blades of Cain, when they first got released, to me, felt mediocre. They felt like they could do work, but they felt mediocre, just in general. Their stats are good, though. 3 APL for pretty much the bulk of, I think, their whole team, right? Yeah. It's a 3 APL team, so it's technically elite. That is very much technically an elite team. Their damage, actually kind of really good. 4-5 on chainswords with rending. Really good options for their leaders. 4-6, lethal 5 on their power weapons on howlings. It worsens enemy hit stats from being in melee with them. Like, the general statting, great. Just great in a general way. Let me take a look, though. Operative selection, looks like you get a leader. Yep, and 7. So it's an 8-person elite team. I think that's... Is that less than Void Scarred? Or not Void Scarred. Void Dancer. Operative selections. It's the same as Void Dancer. So they're an equivalent Void Dancer team. No, they can't. I mean, they can, because if you only have 6 units on the other side, you actually have less APL. And since this is a game of points, you could achieve more with those 3 APL. They definitely, against, like, difficult to kill elite teams, absolutely. It's a massive uphill battle. Oh, thanks, Jordan. But you have to play the game differently, I think. Like, they don't fit the mold, is how I would put it. They have to do weird stuff, because their core thing, to my understanding, is their faction rule. The ability to give people bonuses. They technically have access to command point ploys without command points. And command point ploys on top of it. So, they're a bit too detailed, right? Like, there's a bit too much background work for you to be able to achieve something in an incredible way, which kind of means you need to line stuff up to do it, right? Like, you have to have the right guy in the right spot in the right situation to be like, here's his aspect, here's the command ploy I'm playing, here's the action, and I've got you. The dice rolls worked. Thumbs up. Yo, I saw so many people grabbing Kill Team while I was at the store. They need to play. And I need to be very clear in their Discord that that store is cool and all, but if they want to come to where I'm at, like there's a store 2 minutes from me that I can just go to at any point in time that has a huge back room you can play in, I will spend time. I will bring everything I have and spend time to teach anything they need. I do not care. Oh, nice. I've seen some good commission work for Legionnaires. And when the Legionnaires are done from... they're very trap cardy. The Legionnaires, once they're done from classified to declassified, you might need to get maybe 1 or 2 proxies. Maybe you'll be fine, honestly. Are you getting a core Legionary team, or are you getting an expanded Legionary team that has like options? Because if you have an expanded Legionary team, like I've got 20 Legionary in a box over here that was my Legionary team. I can play anything I want out of the Legionary with this box. I've got multiple pistol, chainsword guys. Like I'm all over the place. I have all the guns, everything made. It's all done. It is a full team. When the Legionary are done, I can use them as the Terror Claw. You're just done. It's like, all right, Legionary's out. I'm gonna go over to this little Nemesis Claw thing. Yo, the new Angels of Death. They gave Justian real rules and kept the old stuff as well for the team to use if they want. Justian statistically was very strong. Oh, okay. General. I think they do give you a good number. They give you some alternates. So we'll just toss this over here because I actually think this is done. Yeah, that's it. I think. Yeah. Okay then. The whole piece done. Any of them are good. Honestly, from what I've seen, whatever you go, you're only going to get 1 ploy for it if you only go that one direction. But I think they made it so you can go any direction now, right? Before this, they changed it so you can take in your roster anything. You're not restricted by mark for roster. Rosters are gone now. So I wonder... Let me take a look. We're occasionally going to, just chill to music and look at rules. Actually, I can improve this for all of you. Hang on. Wait, no, I can't. Warcom's down. No! No. Is it still down? It's still down! Oh, wait. Did I? Oh, no. So yeah, I gotta use my phone, and I'm not putting my phone under the camera lest someone text me. So operative selection. 5. So yeah, you still get your 6. Is it faction rules? Have additional rule keywords. When selecting Legionary, you have to select each operative keyword, but the Balefire cannot be Khorne. Legionary marks are presented on their own cards. Khorne's operatives melee weapons have severe. Like, severe is good. That's... So the old... So, okay. So the old Khorne thing was... you could strike as though it was a crit, but severe makes you retain it as a crit, which means you actually get better, like, results. That'll cause a dev. Or... Yeah, that causes dev in melee, I think, when you strike with it. No, dev isn't real in melee. That would cause shock once you strike with it. But yeah, you actually physically upgrade an attack to a crit with severe. So that's like a lot better than it was for Khorne. Nurgle gets the new version of Feel No Pain. When you get hit with damage of 3 or more on a 5+, you subtract 1 from the damage. It's the new version. You're not rolling like 1,000 dice. It's a little bit better in my opinion. Add 1% to the move stat. That is fantastic. That makes you as fast as an Aldari for Slaanesh. And Operative's ranged weapon have Severe. So, Tzeentch, freaking amazing. Oh, you're talking about the actual strategic ploy? So, Khorne gets +1 to damage. That would be really good into certain things. Now, remember, if you're at a tournament, the rosters don't really exist anymore. No, yeah, that's the new Feel No Pain. Every single team that had Feel No Pain has a version of this. It's so that when someone does 20 damage to you, you're not slowing the game down by picking up 20 dice and just rolling it. It's a little bit better for the game flow. It's definitely not better for the teams that had Feel No Pain, but for the game flow, it's better. Because when a buddy of mine dumps a Melt-A-Gun into a Gellerpox Hulk, and that Gellerpox Hulk converts 20 damage to 2, it's not like that feels really bad, but because you can look at an enemy and go, all right, I can do 20 damage to him across 4 dice, which means that 20 damage, if he rolls really well, becomes 16. That's still a killing blow. So I need to do it and I need to roll well. But then at the low end, because it's a 3 damage is very common across like most guns. So that 3 is just generally like, you're going to get hit with it a lot, and against big health units that you're just rolling 5s to like negate 1 damage per dice roll, it's not bad. And it's faster a little bit. Technically, I feel like it's not really equatable, I guess, but it's just a different way of approaching it. But yeah, Khorne gets +1 damage to each stat. That's ridiculous. That could be really good into low health units. Or even mid-health units, honestly. Nurgle can reduce... Yeah, it worsens piercing. That's insane. That's the Tzeentch roll I get in my Warp Coven. No. You don't want it to be that impactful. That becomes super oppressive to Guardsmen, Aldari, like all the units that are just 2 damage. Or just like 3 damage as their gun. And then you're like, nope, 1 damage as a massive health, like over 20 health unit. That's horrible. That's like the most miserable feeling anyone could have. Whenever an operative is shooting a friendly legionary Slaanesh operative, yeah, worsen hit. It's specifically for shooting. Yeah. Oh, operative that performed an action. So this is only after the Slaanesh guy moves. So you've already moved. You've done stuff. Cool. But also, when fighting or retaliating, worsen hits. So, in general, in fights, worsen enemy hits. When being shot at, if you have moved, worsen enemy hits. And it isn't cumulative with being injured. Interesting. Whenever a friendly legionary operative is shooting a ready enemy operative, your friendly operative's ranged weapons have the punishing weapon roll. Punishing? Neat. Damage already has weapon roll. It has the relentless weapon. Oh, if the weapon already has that, it gains relentless. Oh, that's horrifying. Roll defense types to retain any critical. See, this is the issue. I'm trying to remember what punishing was. I know I talked about it in the video, but now I'm like, what was punishing? And then I go to click it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is a PDF. Which sucks so bad. Rulebook. Ah, if you retain any critical successes, you can retain one of your fails as normal. Neat. No, yeah. If they move. So you're looking to shoot at things that haven't moved. But 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to be in conceal. All right, let's see what else we got here. So we need to start with D. The D. This is B. Is it? I think this might. No? I think this is it. No. Pretty, yeah, this is it. This is the start. D1. Not really. They've moved a lot of items to the common tray. So, like, a lot of teams have access to a ton of really good items. And then the items you do have access to, since they are universal, it's actually a lot better, technically. Because in a lot of situations when you're playing Kill Team, and this, it kind of sucks for, like, upcoming teams that maybe could have been more adaptable with items. But the reality is, because, like, let's say my Wormblade, right? What I would tend to do with my Wormblade is I would put a dynamite on someone. I would put probably a crack or a frag grenade on someone. And then I would cover everyone else with either climbing equipment, or if my enemy had a stun, the flash visors. And that'd be it. That's all I would do. So it's not, like, incredible. And what you get now is actually technically better, even though the points costs are lower. Like, the point total is lower. Because it used to be, like, let's say Felgor, for instance. Felgor, if I were to play them, I would want to go mostly Warpaint. You get 10 Felgor. Warpaint used to be 1. They upped it to 2 points, so... But Felgor now, I would basically run almost everyone that I want, who I want to throw forward first. They would have Warpaint. So that would be over 10. Now, if I want to play Felgor with Warpaint, I just go, I'm using Warpaint. And then every Felgor has Warpaint. It's not a problem, man. Yeah, no nids. We're hoping the rumor... We're hoping the rumor comes to fruition about the nids coming because of the Vox transmission they leaked. Or showed us as flavor. Well, I got a huge one coming, man. You're gonna have access to pretty sizable video here in the near future, hopefully. That goes over all the rules upgrades for the new edition. D3. I'm pretty sure that's this one. Where's the 3? Just want to verify. I'm like 80% sure it's this one. There it is. I love it too. Let me show you the sadness. For those who haven't gotten this book yet, let me show you the sadness. Hey guys, if you want to play co-op, let us suggest something to you. You can use... Yeah, fix this real quick. You can use Gaunts. You can use your Termagants. Maybe some warriors. Sag. Absolutely Sag. I was using Poxwalkers. I was using, for tough, I was using Plague Bearers. And then I was using Death Guard for the heavies. So my Death Guard live on as NPCs. Or NPOs, as they are called. But yeah, they did the rumor thing, and they were like, oh, we're seeing monsters. It's like, okay. Tyranids, fingers crossed. Hopefully we're seeing Nids at some point here. Granted, you can always just play them as like a different team. Felgor are on 32s, Gene Stealers are on 32s. You do the math. I was looking through that orc team, and a lot of stuff on that orc team looked very familiar to the commandos. Pretty sure this is D2. Yep. I feel my metal clippers going, which is not a good thing. Dude, if they go midstream, oh no. They've carried me for over a year now. I was in a stained glass store not that long ago, and I saw that they had stained glass metal clippers. And I was looking at them, and they were basically this, but they looked industrial as hell. I was like, oh, dude, I could just buy those and use those for plastic. I mean, these are meant for steel. These are overgraded for what I need, and they were like 20 bucks. I have played the Nude Horde mode. If you're looking to learn the game, at least at like a slower pace, like if you're not looking to jump in with all the rules all at once, it is worth it. Do not just think that... Let me double check. Yeah, these are getting really bad. Do not double check, or do not think that Games Workshop's information they gave you for Horde mode is the end, right? Like, adjust it. Actually adjust it. Do not get stuck under the assumption of like, oh, well, they don't say anything about, you know, strategic ploys. Oh, they don't say anything about, you know, how much equipment points you have access to. Like, start small, maybe. Shave elements of the game out that are extra. Like, we shaved out command points in our first run. We shaved out equipment as well. And we basically just ran the game as it is with characters alone. And that's it. The stats they give you, they even say don't just look at the stats and go, that's it. That's all the stats are. There are so many abilities you can look to in the game itself that you can apply to the units. You can change their stats. Maybe you look at it and you're like, oh, well, this guy as an NPO would actually be really good with this melee weapon despite being a really flimsy character. So let's make him hit on 3s instead of 4s. Yeah, use it as a base. And if you're familiar with like narrative approaches to things, the AI structure they give to the NPOs is very abusable. It's very flat. Like, it's straightforward. It's very simple. You're not really, you know, reinventing the wheel with it. It's pretty much, if you don't have something you can do that's an attack, just go to cover, and then that's it. So you can kind of abuse it. But, I mean, you're a player. You're using the NPOs. You're a player. So you can make the NPOs make, like, good plays, right? Like, you can do cool stuff with them. Don't just get kind of locked in. Because, yeah, I think in our game we lost like a couple guys from our team, but we wiped a 9-man team pretty much no issue. There were some fun bad rolls. My buddy was using my my Hearthkin, and he tried a trick that I used because I wanted him to experience it. We were in close quarters. So I told him to move his leader forward because he didn't have an attacker. And then put his leader on guard. That way, when the enemy charged him, he could fight with his leader so that he would get the first attack, getting the kill. Because the thing he was fighting had 3 wounds left. And his basic damage on his weapon was 4. So I was like, you get the kill, dude, with that. And he was like, oh, that's a great idea. So we did it, and then we got to rolling, and he missed every attack. All of his attacks, pure misses. He lost his leader there. He even got to use the Hearthkin's 4 damage negator. The NPOs? Here, let's grab the book. I honestly think the NPOs are a great baseline that you can greatly adjust. Consider... Nope, other way. consider how little's on here. It's like, oh, this is your blade. It has ceaseless. Here's your attack line. This is a basic trooper, APL2, whatever. Adjust it. If you, like, genuinely, you can probably create really cool narrative experiences out of this just by being like, let's give him APL3, you know? Oh, it's a Poxwalker. APL2, let's increase his wounds by 4, but we're going to reduce his move by 2. He's going to have a save of 5+, and then that Feel No Pain, that new Feel No Pain we were talking about earlier, let's add that to him. There you go. You've got yourself a whole ass Poxwalker right there. You want to get a Heavy Gunner? Like, the Heavy Gunner is a 3/4, 4 attacks, 3 up to hit, 14 wounds. Like, this is a Space Marine with a bolt gun. It can shoot twice, which is cool. But maybe you have a Heavy Bolter. Maybe you make him have the Heavy Bolter stat line, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. He's a Heavy Bolter user. Heavy Bolter just exists. You can see it in the Space Marine books, or, I mean, you could even, for smaller people, pull it from other places. Like, you can adjust as you see fit. Make the game what you want it to be. To try to, like, challenge yourself, give you and your friends, like, a different taste of something that maybe you wouldn't get just using the basic rules. Which, again, goes into me being like, man, they're really close to having a comparable tabletop game to, like, D&D. Like, if they could just refine Wrath and Glory and then combined the combat of Kill Team and its crunchiness with, like, NPO statting and stuff, and the ability to adjust and create your own enemy types. Dude, you could have an amazing pen and paper tabletop RPG, I think. Just great experiences. You can still run from, like, Theater of the Mind type stuff without needing to, like, have all the models. But then when it is time, when you got, like, the big fight, maybe you guys want to physically see it. When your DM drops models on the table and is like, here we go. Here's your deployment zone. This is where the enemies are deploying. This is your mission. These are the special actions you can take. I do want to do battle reports. They do take a while to edit. I have figured out a way to do it here. I have this table big enough for a board. I need a crossbar that's not connected to the table, because if I do this, you guys get a little shimmy shake. And I don't like it. So when I'm playing the game, I don't want to have the recording just suddenly shaking around. Because I put this camera all the way up. This is an extendable pole over here for the camera. I had it all the way up so I could see the whole table. And when I touched the table like this, it was just... It was so bad because it's not braced in 2 areas. I would need a double braced crossbar for it to be fine. But this table's not good with double braced crossbars. It's not designed for it. Yeah, you can run whatever. Just make adjustments. You can go check out the old rules, because a lot of the damages and stat lines, they would still work. Like, they would still cross over. Like, if you wanted to do, like, a mini sort of Space Hulk game in a ITD map, you could easily do it. You could easily just look back at the old Gene Stealers, give them the damage line, give them the free dash, 2 APL, give them the wound count. I think they had, what, 4+ invulnerables? The new terminology for invulnerable is just ignore piercing. That's it. Just claim they ignore piercing. That's what the Harlequins have. We gotta pick colors for this. I don't know if I want to go gray. I might. We could baseline it in like a dark blue. Like a pre-shade almost. And then get a highly opaque gray. Like a kind of bluish gray. Start there. Maybe do like a frosting of white up top. And then we'll just have to tone the metals. All right, man. I feel like for boss battles, what they need to do is that for like generalizing the boss battle for people, you need to create a set of NPO behaviors that are different, right? You could almost create like a event type combat, man. Like imagine setting up a room where there's like a bunch of reactors and the monster or boss you're fighting wants to keep the reactors going. So one of the NPO behaviors is if he's close enough to a reactor to go turn it back on or something, he will. And you as the sort of game master narrative person could just be like, oh yeah, we got this. Are you saying they removed them because of the whole kill op? Because kill op says 5-man teams are the lowest now. I'm wondering, who do you think is going to be the first 5-man? Do you think Custodes are going to get a team and it's going to be a 5-man? Because there were a lot of people assuming that like Legionary and Angels were going to be 5-man. So it's ignore piercing if you have a low enough save is, I think, the invulnerable concept. Against, so you say that. Have you seen what the Warp Coven get? Warp Coven Rubric Marines are 2+ saves. And for a single command point, I can reduce piercing by 1 to all of my units. For like the entire round. That's their invulnerable save, is just reduce piercing by 1 and have a 2+ save. Definitely Grey Knights. We are really hoping for Grey Knights. I want to see Grey Knights. The problem is, like you're saying, they're doing it out of things that need to be refreshed. So if it is something like that, yeah, it would have to be a complete Grey Knight squad that's just 5 people. The box might have 10, but then I think for Kill Team it would be like, yeah, you only get to use 5. There's a lot of options, but you only get 5 for Kill Team. Yeah, we're going to try something here, Case. I wanted to build. I'm a little bit saddened that the Warcom is down. I wanted to see if the PDF of the actual rules for the new Kill Team stuff came out that wasn't just light rules. That doesn't seem to be the case, so I got some pictures I got to take tomorrow to finish this video up. But I really wanted to like take a minute to myself, decompress, get the terrain built. What's up, Badger? Jesus. Saturday night's my jam, apparently. Guys are coming out of the wet works. Rather, the woodwork. That's good, that's good. Did I trim this? Trimmed. Trim. Here we go. not get this side? No, I did. No? No, I definitely did. Gotta get on it, man. This game moves at the speed of lightning. Oh, God. You must need vice grips for this crap. Yeah, I already have my paint scheme for the Vespid. I'm actually super excited to build them because our paint scheme is going to be underlit chrome. We're actually going to do a 3-stage airbrush paint job on them. It's, of course, going to be white primer. We're going to pick a color that we want the underglow to be. I'm thinking magenta. I love magenta. That's just who I am. Then we're going to do a purple, a really dark, thin coat of purple over top of it, right? As a top-down sort of zenithal, but like about a 45 degree, maybe 50 or 60 degree zenithal. So the blue or the magenta is like not as pronounced. Then at a slightly less degree, chrome. Just chrome from top down. They're going to be chrome Vespids. Flavorful. Like dude, I love rattlings as a concept. And you know every Skaven player that exists has enough heads to actually turn them into proper Skaven rattlings. Dude, you guys are falling behind. Get on my level of having no life and only playing game. Game is life. Tank busters look cool. I think, are they going to elite them? Like, they look like they're heavily armored compared to commandos, and there's no way you can hoard a heavily armored orc team because their wounds are very close to Space Marine. I think they might end up being like a 7-man squad. If I'm genuinely thinking of it. What did they show? Did they say how big the team is, or were they just like, check out the models? Because like 6 or 7. I don't think you get above that for that squad. Because they just look like durable craziness. That probably can't hit that well. In ranged. But are probably amazing in melee. Which, that's kind of the trick. Commandos are cool and all, but commandos are a ranged orc team. Which is awkward. New Bomb Squig, too. Bomb Squig trying to outclass old Bomb Squig. Alright, so this is the second house, which means once we're done this, I think it's just trimming, right? Yep, corner houses and then trim, and that's it. So it's this thing, and one other platform. I can see that. Double bomb squig would be good. That makes them like a genuine elite team. But I feel like their to-hit rating is going to not be that great for ranged. But from the pictures that I kind of glimpsed, they do look like they have really good melee concepts, which, yeah, you want that. You want the melee to be there for that kind of a team. If the knob's a Space Marine tier, that means he's got a 3+ to hit, is probably what they're referring to. APL 3 most likely. Huge wound count. They could give him like the high Justian count, because Justian, dude, well, Angels of Death, the Justian League of Angels of Death. I feel like that's kind of opened a vortex on the idea of elites. Because when you look at Justian and you're just like, dude, I could take a, what is it, like a 16 or 18 health heavy bolter? Yes. Sign me up. Like, they're doing something. They're trying to make ridiculously high health units like normal. Which, honestly, Orc Tank Buster Knob, if he's not 18 wounds, I don't know, man. I feel like that's the 18 wound Orc. I don't know, man. They could give him 18 wounds and call it. At that size of a team, 18 wounds would be perfect. He'd be ridiculous. Make him hit on 4s from ranged. 3s in melee, which is technically worse than Space Marine. Specifically Space Marine leaders. But still, like, just to have that many wounds as an Orc and just being like, here I go. Activate the killing. What I want to try, once I get that bar set up for my battle reports, and I'm going to have to figure out times for this, because right now we've got a decent amount of people watching, which doesn't happen during the week. I would love to be able to just set this up so I can go live, have a camera over top of a dice box that I can swap to, and then have us do a battle report with chat. Like, I could set it up so I could press a button to record actions. It would record audio of me saying what's happening. That way, when I build my actual battle report video, it's like, it's all there. I could play games with you guys and then turn them into battle reports. Just condense them down. Kind of want to try co-op with chat. I think that'd be weird. I mean, think of the thumbnail, man. Can chat beat me at Kill Team? The answer will surprise you. I mean, I've got so many teams to choose from, so we could almost like pre-plan it. Which team to play, which units to take. Ah. No. Connect, please. We're so close. Everything's going right. Oh, God. I can. I don't know how many people are going to go in there, though. Like, I've noticed there's only a few of us that really talk on that Discord. It's cool and all. It's like a fun little club. And I know not everyone really wants to, like, engage. They just want to see, like, what's happening so that they can maybe, like, learn stuff or figure cool things out. But I can make some just general gaming channels. I don't know if you saw the emote I dropped in there. Pug for the pug god. Dude, one more house. Yeah, the Discord. Pug for the pug god. Because the Ratlings have the new pug, but, you know, classic tactical pug, still so much cooler. Dude, if I were to play the Ratlings, I 100% would look into where I could get the Kasserkin, the Cadian pug from. I'm pretty sure he's, like, way too big, which would mean he's probably the right size to be used as a proxy. Almost every single Ratling character has food on their base. Like, one of them had a grilled cheese. You know the guy designing them was really hungry at the time. Like, he's probably getting yelled at. We need the designs. He's just sitting at his desk like, God, I'm so hungry. Yeah, Cadian pug. It's a Etsy print. You can probably find it on Etsy. Someone released it as like a free 3D STL that they were like, if anyone wants it, you can take it. And then a bunch of people on Etsy were like, pay me for the print because it's awesome. So there's been some really good conversions of it. Like, someone built a sort of like Corn Berserker base. It's just filled with skulls, and then there's just a pug on top of it with his little Cadian helmet. Yeah, they got the grilled cheese guy. One of them has a tea in his hand. But if you look at the models, they are really perfectly lined up. If the heads are separate, to have Skaven heads go in those little hooded hat type situations, which seems perfect, honestly. Go full-blown rat. Wait, what? You got a box that had the wrong buildings in it? Damn. I've heard about like some of the shipping nightmares. Oh no, did we do this wrong? I've heard of some of the shipping nightmares from Games Workshop where people will like order stuff and then get absolutely not what they ordered in, or the box will come with just completely wrong things in it. I feel misled by the how-to on my side over here, because they were like, yeah, glue the walls on, then glue this in. It's like, no, I would definitely not do that. Like, looking at this right now, no. That is not the approach I would have taken. This is kind of jamming up. Oh, there we go. No. This needs to get under. Oh my god, dude. Thank you for durable plastic. Holy crap. Oh no, this one. There we go. Should probably tack this a little bit. Holy crap. Okay. No. Oh, I thought there was a balcony on the other side of this. I could have swore we were supposed to build a balcony. Like over here. Guess not. Well, there you go. 2 big-ass buildings. So these are all standalone. Yeah, these are just standalone components. We can kind of pre-plan some of the paint schemes for these, because there's components here that are heavy and components here that are light, and I could probably color coordinate that for people to understand very easily. Like maybe the heavies are red. Like they got a lot of red tones in them. Then the lights, we could do like a kind of like green maybe. Just to get a fun multi-palette going. Something to do tonight. Create a general gaming channel and chat in the Discord. And then maybe I'll listen back to certain parts of my video and list the things I need to take pictures of tomorrow so I can finish it. I could have done it tonight, but I really wanted to get these things worked on, man. Because honestly, having a set of Vulcus would be really cool. I'm hoping we do an in-store tournament. I know he doesn't have the terrain for it, so he's going to be like, bring terrain. I'll bring an ITD board. I'll bring my Vulcus board. And then maybe we like preset the board so that over time people can maybe play on them. Question is, where do we go with terrain at this point? It's going to have to be jungle, right? Like some kind of weird alien jungle. I mean, the main thing Kill Team needs is more representation from the other factions that basically got removed. It does need a slew. Like, okay. I was actually thinking about this in the car. The thing that made Kill Team awesome with Compendium and other type stuff alongside Bespoke was the idea that anyone could get into it based on what they're doing. So a lot of people in the store today while I was playing were talking about Kill Team and being like, I've been looking to get in, and, you know, building a 2,000 point army is like, tedium. But then I saw Kill Team and I was like, yep, gotta do it. That's my in. So, like, new players. Kill Team, great. Established players. I don't really want to buy new stuff, but you're saying that my Thousand Sons have a kill team that is mostly Rubric Marines, Zangors, and Sorcerers. I can play then. So, veteran players. Established. But now it's, well, you can maybe proxy if you got certain stuff. Like maybe I could run Angels of Death with Rubric Marines. You know, be a little weird. Well, I think with the trees, so you do the trees like you do AOS. That's how you do it. You do the trees like you do AOS, where it's a circle, and anything inside the circle has cover. So the trees are basically AOS trees, where it's a border, there's some trees, or maybe it's like an alien forest, so it's like Tyranid, so maybe it's like Tyranid spires or something, and it's like, oh, if you're in this spire area, you know, you get a bonus or whatever. Because that's what this is, right? These are bonuses. Someone from the outside fighting in, the person inside gets to fight first. If someone throws a grenade in here, lethal 5. Or shoots flamethrowers, lethal 5. So, like, this is the zone. That's where you get the bonuses. And it could be the same thing with Forest. It could just be different. And maybe that also allows you to do, like, Hazardous again. But yeah, the thing Kill Team needs is the way to allow veteran players to be like, oh, let me just get back into it. I already have stuff. This is a growing game. I don't want to carry my 2,000 point army everywhere. There's a tournament coming up in a town I'm going to, so I'll just play Kill Team. I'll play Kill Team for this event. It's great. So, like, it's just, I don't know. It's a better bet to try to make sure everyone can play, regardless of whether you're getting into it new and want a bespoke team, or maybe you're, like, completely cool just buying a general team. Like, regardless of how crap you feel the compendium is, there was a lot of power in it to allow people to just play. My buddy, when he was getting his Tyranids together, like, he went to his parents' house. He used to play Tyranids with us, against us all the time when I was playing Chaos Space Marines with Rubric Marines mostly. And our friend was playing either Eldari or Tau. So you're trying to figure out what archetype needs to be put into the game more? There's a lot of Horde, I think. Yeah, I agree. But I don't think we need necessary... Okay, if you're going to Elite, do it in a weird way. So what they're doing with the Orcs, that could be weird enough that's really cool. Like, even though Gellerpox is Horde, because the focus is on 4 guys, it feels Elite. Like, it kind of feels Elite, even though it's Horde. If you can make Horde weird or Elite weird, I think maybe more weird Elites. Because again, okay, so warp the playstyles. Archetypes and playstyles, all different things. But the Hieratech have tons of abilities. They are very elite, but they have just tons of abilities and game-breaking rules and changes and shifts. Not a lot of teams have that. In my opinion, from all the teams I look at, it's Warp Coven that have it, Hieratech that have it. To a lesser extent, Hearth can have it. And I love that playstyle of just like, here's my 20 abilities I'm going to chuck at you every single round to completely adjust how this game gets played. All right, we need to build... So we got 2 houses, a bunch of debris. Now we got to build corner houses, which is 1 page, I think. No. It's all this as well. Oh, key thing. For people looking to get into the game here, they give you this. You get... What? You get 2 Vox. That's good. You get 2 ammos. That's good. Technically, so Vox, ammo, mines, smoke grenades, and these grenades, don't care about them. Honestly, it's a fun little thing I'm probably going to paint. That's cool. But the thing that matters for those are these. When you want a smoke grenade, you're not putting the smoke grenade down. You're putting this down. Because here's the difference. The way they describe it is anything within 1 inch of the marker is in smoke. This is awkward as completely, like, this is so that you can have it to the side so that you know you have a smoke. And then when you use it, you get rid of it, you put the token down. Like, that's how it's supposed to work, because then this is 1 inch in a circle around here. These, very important in size. If you have alternate markers that you like using, like I do, you're probably not going to use a few of them, because you're going to want some of these to be on hand as specific markers. As well, when you do missions where it's like kill a guy and pick up a token, same thing. Because, again, these markers are important. Let me see if I have... These are my custom markers that I painted. It's 1 inch around the marker that matters. And they're one of those weird sizes where it's not... Like, I don't think this is a solid size. It's like kind of a size. Yeah. It's like just under 1 inch. It's like 3/4 of 1 inch. So if you're going to measure to stuff to try to like verify, oh, I'm close enough to it, right? You really can't. Like, you can't get exact measurements to know like, oh yeah, the 1 inch. Where is it? Yeah. Like, there's your 1 inch. Like, you can check versus the token, which is like kind of screwing you over. You can still use these to mark things like, oh, I lit you on fire. Let me put my fire marker on you. That's fine. Like, I like my fire markers. But when it comes to tracking tokens, smoke grenades, box things, you want to use these instead. The problem, though, is they give you 2 heavies. Cool. I gotta turn this down again. They give you 2 heavy barricades. Awesome. They give you 2 lights. Or not lights. The portables. Cool. They give you 2 razor wires. Excellent. They give you 2 of each of these things. It's weird that they give you the small ones, because you don't really need them. But this does cover both players, which is cool. Grenade markers, like, I mean, kind of. Like, I think technically 2 smokes, but you could also just be like, all right, these 2 are smoke. Like, just keep track of them in your head. The thing that weirds me out is you only get 2 barricades, light barricades, which means in a single set of this, unless you played before, like a lot of us did, you do not have enough of these. You need to figure out how to get your hands on 2 others, that's a peculiar thing to me. In my opinion, that's kind of a missed opportunity, because the only way to get them is to go purchase another one of these boxes, which is going to give you more razor wire that you don't want, more ladders, which maybe you want, because maybe you want the full height ones. Those are cool. These are 4 inches tall, by the way. Just so you know, like if you have a unit that comes over here to then go up the wall, it's 4 inches. Like you'll get extras of these, don't need them. Extras of these, don't need them. All this extra, don't need it. You literally need 2 more of these if you've never played before and don't have barricades. Hopefully the people you're playing all have purchased this type of stuff, but it's weird to me that you'll have enough for 2 people in some situations and then only enough for 1 in others. Like the cards. I think I talked a little bit about this on the Discord. So kill zone tracking, you know, basics. Only enough scouting cards for 1 person. So technically you can put them on the field and then do the thing where you hold X amount of dice like they talk about. So like kind of doesn't matter. Maps, keys, 1 kill op card, that's fine. You can run off of there. Primary ops, 2 crit ops, 2 tac ops, 2 kill ops. So these are enough for 2 players here, right? Crit ops are the missions, so you can random draw missions. I think you roll a dice to figure out what your deployables are going to be. But the tac ops, they only give you enough for 1 person. So I think you need to, if you're playing solo, like if you only have 1 deck, you put the cards down and then the person picks what they want to do and writes it down or sets it aside as like a thing. Unless the teams are different, right? Like if I'm only Seek and Destroy and Recon and my opponent is Security and Infiltrate or whatever, then it's fine. But like the fact that there's not enough here for 2 people to just have and then flip is very peculiar when there's enough here for people to have and flip. Which means if you buy another deck because you're trying to be like friendly with locals to be like, here's your deck, you're gonna have too much of this. That is so weird. Wormblade get their own minefields. I know scouts can do minefields, and I think Jaeger does minefields. They do their own version of it, though. Oh, God. Clear this first. Get these out of here. Like, it almost feels like there was a last minute change. Like they had all of these ready to go, and then they had a last minute rules change right before printing the books. Because you got to think, like, printing the books is probably one of the last things you do. Oh, always Gaming Guardians. So the reason they would have put only 2 regular barricades in with this is that they maybe were like, oh, you can only get 1 light barricade now. And then they test played it a few times and were like, ah, crap. Oh no. Secret cheat code, if you're just getting into the game and you're like, oh, we need 2 extra light barricades, Etsy. Just go to Etsy. I think people 3D scanned the barricade and started printing new ones. Ooh, I like it. Now, does that over... I have to look it up. I haven't looked at their equipment. I do kind of want to play them, but I don't know. I think I want to focus on Warp Coven, because they gave Zangor's shield so we can double parry now, which is so good. I know, right? Everything's new. Hopefully my... I don't know how many battle reports I'm going to do anytime soon, just because I really want to try in like a month or 2 to get through all the year 1 teams as overviews. That way everyone has like access to the year 1 team information as like, this is how they play. Maybe you want to play them. Because Wormblade is a year 1. So that's cool. Minefields hit hard. Minefields are scary. We actually talk, well, in the video I talk about it, but I can go over it a little bit with you guys. So, fun rules concept. They were very clear that when a unit is killed based on wounds, it still gets to the end of the total action before it gets removed. So, that being said, an idea I brought up, and you'll see it again in the video, so this is kind of a spoiler. Spoilers. If there's a mine down and a person, where is it? Is behind one of the armor increasing mini walls. So if he uses the action with the mini wall to move it, where he picks it up, moves, he'll move, this one will move 4 inches. And he just moves like the 4 inches or whatever. Triggers the mine, and the D3 is enough to kill him. What ends up happening is you complete the full action with this wall, which lets you return it however you feel like it. You can put it basically anywhere. And then he dies. So that's how general actions work. Which actually plays into Blast. Because there was this kind of sense originally that the way Blast worked was you would pick a target, roll for it, see if it dies, go to the next target. So if you had a medic on the field and you threw a grenade to blast, you would, I think, roll for the main guy and then all subsequents. So if the main guy was the medic, you could kill the medic first and then kill everyone around him without the medic's benefit of saving someone. But because the rules explicitly state that everyone is currently active, the way it'll work is you basically roll through all the blasts to get incapacitations. And as it's occurring, everyone's still around. So any auras are still in effect. Any functions are still in effect that don't claim they go away upon incapacitation, which I actually think there are a few of them that explicitly state incapacitation, not removal. Like I probably Warp Coven, honestly. Either Warp Coven or Hyrotech probably have this. Yeah. Select one enemy operative until... Oh, that's for the enemy. This is a weird wording, actually. The Sorcerer of Destiny. Select one enemy operative visible to and within 9 inches of this operative until the start of this operative's next activation, until it's incapacitated, or until this action is performed again by a friendly operative. Until it's incapacitated is an issue, wording-wise. Who's incapacitated? Is it the target? Is it the caster? Until the start of this operative's activation, until it's incapacitated, which in my head refers to its target. Or until this action is performed again. If that's the case, the debuff this guy puts on it could die. Or the debuff this guy puts on it when this guy dies should persist. That's like the gray area for me. But if it's referring to is the caster, then technically before the removal, the buff or debuff would go away. Yeah. I did see that about the Wormblade. The third of them are hiding, but they have to be in turn 1, right? Like, you can't skip them like you can the Aquilans. The Aquilans only need to bring in 1/3 of the 2/3 that are out. Also, something cool we noticed from the writing, if you have a team of 9, so you split 4-3-3, right? Oh, wait, no. If you have a team of 10 and you do 4-3-3, whatever you put on the team of 4 has to go in first. You cannot hold the bigger squad back. That was kind of cool to figure out in the wording. All right. Which one do we do first? So I think there's like 2 houses on each of these. One big one and then a bunch of small ones. Pretty sure this is this one here. A3? Oh my god, are these not written properly? So this is A3. A3 is none of this. It's none of this. So I'm guessing it's E3, even though it says A3. I gotta think of who I'd play in a tournament. Like, I want to play Warp Coven. I do. I love Warp Coven's rules. I love how they work. I love the new stuff, and I feel like people are gonna be really freaking mad if I take them to a tournament and they're just like, I'm shooting at you, and I'm like, 2+ save. They're like, what the hell is that noise? It's like, yep. It's cool I have pen 1. It's cool I activated that stratagem at the beginning. It's pen 0. What's your rolls? Yes, that's right. I did take the, what is it, Devastating 1 or Piercing 1 upgrade for all of my guns. If you like the Warp Coven, look into the Higher Tech. Higher Tech are a 2-year team that have a lot of similar function. I do not think... Okay, Etsy prints, maybe. I do not think you're getting the token sheets separate. genuinely do not think you're getting the token sheet separate. I'm trying to figure out, do we think if you, the box was too small. There's no way buying the box of deployables. No, you have to get the tokens with the deployables. You have to, because like buying the box of plastic deployables doesn't really help you at all with smoke grenades and stuff when you actually need tokens for those instead. So you can get baseline tokens from that box, and that box will have universal ones that you can just use for whatever. I think I cut the wrong thing. Yeah, this is for later. And I'm pretty sure it'll be for this one. So I'll just go set these aside. But the key, okay, so what thing about the Legionary tokens do you want? Because unless it's important, like unless it needs for you to be a specific range from it, you can use any kind of token really. Like, let me take a look at the Legionary. We're gonna get this built tonight. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Like, what token would even matter here? You don't really gain tokens from your ploys. Firefight ploys as well. Add 1 to the APL. That's a standard token. Let me take a look. Oh, I can't. Let me see if Google has an image. I keep wanting to check freaking Games Workshop's site. Maybe Games Workshop's site's up. Okay, Games Workshop's up. It's just Warcom that's on fire. Kill Team New. Oh no, it's probably still under pre-order. 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 Where'd they all go? Uh-oh. Kill team. Okay, here we go. Blooded Mandrakes, Jaegers, Scouts. I don't think they... Do they not have the tokens? Boarding actions. Void Base Wars? No. Gallo Dark, Necromunda. Mandrake's Hearthkin. Scouts, Jaegers, Nemesis. Dude, are there tokens? Train does look good. I actually really like this train. Let's see. Kill team Legionaries. See if the new box is up in pictures. I don't think... Are they even doing them in a new box? Or are they just doing Season 2 and stuff in boxes? Are you talking about the Nemesis Claw tokens? Those are the only ones I see. Yeah, because this is Season 3. All the Season 3 teams are getting boxes. Were they redoing boxes for Season 2 and 1? I don't think they are, right? No, internal server error. Let's see if I can find a picture. Nemesis Claw. So Nemesis Claw looks like they have basic buffs, debuffs, simple marks, which those come in the standards. Oh, wait, what is this? Wait, do other teams have this? So this one new box has punch outs for 28 millimeter bases, 32 millimeter bases, and then 25 or 40. I don't understand why they have this. No, because Legionaries, they're an old box. You do have to get, like, so Chaos Legionaries are kind of standard. You can just get them. There's an upgrade sprue that makes them into the Legionary, but you can also, you know, make things work. So it's not that big of a deal as much. The thing I'm wondering about, yeah, they all have it. Okay. So it looks like they'll take grenade markers, which are just standard from what I'm seeing. So they give you AP up and down. They give you simple marks. I guess this is kind of related to them, but it's all buff debuff, so it doesn't really matter. It looks like they have symbols for a specific gun or something. It has grenade symbols, which grenade symbols are on the standard cards. It has these weird little symbols that are like circle with skull and triangles with skulls, which again, those are standard. And then it has like wound markers or wounded markers. Those are standard. So these are all standard markers with a little bit of an orc flavor with some orc specific things that honestly don't matter. And then from what I can tell, tester bases. That way you don't have to move. Yeah, but if you click off of it, maybe your computer will light on fire. So these punch outs that they give these teams that are getting boxed, they have tester bases so you can see if you can move a unit somewhere without being blocked by base size. Which, I mean, that's kind of cool, but these are completely useless if, like, you have stuff. If you don't have things, they're useful. But there's a symbol for mines, smoke grenades, comms array, 2 ammo caches, a single grenade pick thing, I guess, that you can track grenades with. No, these are unnecessary. I wonder, though, the universal box of equipment, I'm pretty sure it gives you the universal tokens as well. If it does, then yeah, you'll probably want that. Four? Warp Coven, Hierotek, Wormblade, Hearthkin. Dude, those are my teams. Those are my jam. I'm going to miss Phobos. I put a lot of effort into my Phobos team to complete it. But, like, eh. They don't really play how I would want them to play. I mean, they play how they probably should play. I'll say that. But it's, like, not close enough to how I would want them to play for me to enjoy it. Whereas, like, the oddity of Wormblade, awesome. I love how weird Wormblade is. And then just the crazy amounts of abilities and stacking effects that Warp Coven, Hierotek, and Hearthkin create. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Warp Coven have an ability right now where you put a marker next to one of your allied units, right? When that allied unit goes, it can do whatever it wants. It can go ham, do what it needs to. Once it's done, it can choose, I believe. I don't think you're forced to do it. It can choose to then vanish from where it is and reappear back where it started. within 1 inch of the token. Technically, it can be further back than where it started. Phobos are good. I wouldn't say they're bad. I mean, dude, the Reaver upgrade? Oh, Reavers are so good right now. But, like, I feel like if you know how to play Phobos, like if you know how the Phobos team works, and you see an opponent come to the table and put his Phobos team down, you look at the units he picks, you know how he's playing. Like, you know exactly how he's about to play. You know every move he's going to make. You know everything he's hoping works. Because they're so finely tuned that there's not, like, enough flexibility with the unit. Like, you see him put Reavers with melee weapons down, you're like, yep, I know exactly where those guys are going. Like, there's not even a question in your mind. You've already seen the entirety of the game that they're going to try to play out. Which means you can basically look at it and go, well, I know what I'm doing. I know I can't handle a Reaver in melee over there, so have fun on that side, I guess. Like, the sniper got improved, because I think the sniper... There's a few snipers I've seen... or a few people I've seen who can go into guard regardless of whether or not you're playing close quarters, which that is insane. Having access to guard outside of close quarters is so good. It could. I feel like you could probably use him as Nemesis as well. That's weird, though. You could use him as Nemesis, but probably mostly for, like, warriors. You couldn't get access to too many of the specialists. But yeah, you could run him as Alpha Legion. I mean, my Angels of Death are Alpha Legion. Sadly, I don't have any Justinian, and I really don't want to paint anymore. So, yeah. About that. Alright, how the hell does this go? Okay. We'll just tack a couple. Get a little bit on there. Very weird that they made me have to push this in there, but okay. Whatever. There's a few people who've done really good, like, fun conversion-y things. Glass Half Dead did a... I want to say he uses them as Phobos, but they are Tau. He made them look like Tau in like super suits, basically, which is kind of cool. But he built them so that they can kind of be used as elites. So he could run them as Phobos. He could run them as Legionary. He could run them as Nemesis. Their main thing is their base sizes are 32s. Their silhouettes are pretty big. They have a slew of different gun visualizations. You could just be like, oh yeah, that's a heavy bolter. It's kind of the way to go. Find rules you like and then just like build an odd looking team around it. It's probably honestly the best way to go going forward, if I'm really being honest about it. Because what that means is when the Phobos are no more, he can just be like, alright, I'm Nemesis Claw. And then when Nemesis Claw is out, there's probably going to be something, right? Angels. It's just something. And he can be like, yep, I'm those now. And then can you roll a crit? I know his Blooded is House Escher, I want to say. I think it's House Escher. Once that's done, I mean, he just has a Horde army with a couple, like, Ogryn-sized units. He could always expand his House Escher units. And just be like, oh yeah, whatever comes next, I have it. So it kind of works better, in a way. What up, Fran? Holy crap. Saturday nights, man. People popping in. Alright, we got one more terrain grid to work on. Blood Angels. Not bad, man. This song is like 4 hours long. I need to skip it. I'm kind of glad I skipped Beta Decima. I would honestly not be happy painting this if I had done Beta Decima. Beta Decima wasn't that long ago. Like, genuinely thinking about it, Beta Decima was not at all long ago. And if I had to put all of that together... Oof. I mean, they're adding tokens to them, but that's not $20 worth. I mean, this box, the Hivestorm box, was really good. Like, for its pricing. Honestly, it was good. But the new boxes, the standalone boxes, do they get the cards? I don't think they do, right? They just get the tokens? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did the pricing that way, outside of just, like, wanting more money. I don't think they're gonna get it, though. Like, if I'm being genuinely, seriously honest. Although the Commandos box, maybe. Because Commandos are very good in 40k. So I feel like people are gonna lean into that. Yeah, I don't know why they did it. Because I've seen some of the prices. Some of the prices are okay. Like, some of the prices are fine. But then some of them are, like, absolutely out there. Like, what is it? Blood Brothers? What price is Blood Brothers? Or Brood Brothers? Brood Brothers is $65. Okay. So you're probably like, oh, that's not bad, because you'll get the Brood Brothers and then you'll get the leaders. No, you don't get the leaders. You have to buy them separately. There's a little bit of tomfoolery going on with the pricing. I think the main reason they're doing this with pricing is because they want to justify not having you buy books anymore. Like, if I'm being, like, genuinely, that's what I think. I think their whole goal is going, look, if you're not going to buy $20 books anymore to play our games, then we'll just tack that $20 onto the teams you're buying. Oh, dude, friggin', yeah, the current standard oddity boxes of, like, Howling Banshees and Dire Avengers are already so stupidly expensive. I wouldn't be surprised if Scorpions were 90. Aren't Dire Avengers and stuff like 45 for 4? No, it's like 45 for 5. And you need a 10-man. I think. So I wouldn't be surprised if Scorpion Box came out and was like only 5 Scorpions for like 45 or was a full 10-man for 90. Oh, 100%. I don't doubt the boxes will go up. The main misstep at this point, at least for me, that Games Workshop could take is basically going, hey, all the stuff you've purchased, yeah, none of it works anymore. You have to buy the new stuff. And we're upping the prices on all of it. Because this is the struggle Games Workshop has to deal with. You know, card games, they release blind cards. You know, kids go out, buy the packs, open them, get a ton of crap, and go like, cool, we didn't get anything good. I'll just buy more later. And then, you know, new sets come out, new artwork for new cards. Some cards make their way back. Maybe there's a new mechanic. It's just a constant cycle of RNG needing to purchase cards over and over again. The problem Games Workshop has is if you buy a box of Rubric Marines, those are Rubric Marines. You have them. Hooray, you did it. Mission accomplished. New edition coming out? Guess what? Rubric Marines. Do you need more Rubric Marines? No? Oh, okay. Here's your book. What about now? Do you need more Rubric Marines? No? Alright, well here's a new book for this new edition. So like, next year, if the Thousand Suns boxes, like, if all of them go up like $20, it's like, wow, that's crazy. God, good thing I don't need them. I'm fully collected. I have everything I could possibly need to build decent armies for Thousand Suns right now. I'm done. And that's an issue. It is a huge issue because I'm no longer a spendy. I am a sit back and chill-y. No. It's why these other modes are kind of fun. Because, I mean, they really are just like one-offs. Just enjoyable little things to play. It's also kind of the struggle that D&D has been kind of going through with trying to get people to need to, like, buy into their services and stuff. Oh, you want to track your character sheet? Well, pay us a monthly fee. You know, we're just gonna make it so that your inventory and skills are basically useless randomly when we update everything and tell you you can't use your old stuff. That's what they hope for, is that you build, once you build one army, you're like, I guess I'm done. But you got the weirdos, right? And then you go build another army, which, yeah, I've got Knights, I've got Gene Stealer Cult. I just finished a Soul Forge army from Chaos. Yeah, I'm all over the place. Every day I feel the pull of building a Votann army. Like, I feel it. I don't want to do it, but I feel it. But man, we got Emperor's Children coming. 2025, baby. Christmas probably. I guess for this year's Squigmas, I'll probably put some Kill Team stuff on the list. No, yeah, whales, the people who weirdly feel driven to build a 30,000 point Space Marine or Imperial Guard army, those guys they love. They love new players too. There was like market research that they revealed where the players that they care about the most are the ones that just started, and they really only care about them for like 4 months. Because after 4 months, their spending patterns reduce heavily. Either because they're like, I don't really want to keep going with this. Or they're like, I mean, I got my 2,000 point army, so maybe I'll buy a box 4 months from now. But there are people who go to the store that I was at today to pick this up, where they get bored of their armies. They look at the stuff they just have laying around from other armies and they go, I just need to buy like 2 tanks and maybe like 3 squads, and I'll have another 2K and it'll be fine, and then I'll just play that. That's what they do. Like, there was a guy who played Necron when I showed up, and he was playing, like, Necron was him. They knew him as the Necron guy. And then Necron became meta, and he was like, I don't want to play Necron anymore. So he looked around, and he saw that he had a couple things for Death Guard, and then he was like, well, I'll play Death Guard. And then over time, Death Guard got really strong. I think I already cleared this. I cleared, I think, all of this at this point. Now he's building, what's he building now? Oh, he's building Tau. Tau was really strong at the beginning of 10th, and then it kind of fell off. Everyone realized their method and was like, screw it. It's not a good method anymore because everyone's countering it. Hooray. So he's playing a completely weird method because he looked up the detachments and found the detachment that's all about Overwatch and counter shooting. And he's like, I love this. And he's going it. And he's doing decently with it. No, yeah, my next army is Emperor's Children. So I gotta wait till next year. No, yeah. The free stuff gets people in because they see it and then they feel like they can access information easier, which is important. It's important to try to pull people in to play. But now they're, exhausting that cost onto units because it is genuinely a scary thing to do. Especially with a company that's like traded. So like investors are looking at it going, what are you doing? Why aren't you selling books anymore? The rule books were where you were getting a ton of money from. I know you guys were talking about this app that you said would work really well, but like we were kind of all about the rule books. Why is this not going in? Does this have no, this doesn't come from the other way. Or does it? Oh god, did I do it the wrong way? No. No, this is fine. I think I just need to push harder. I don't know how much money they make from those. So a lot of their video game initiative, from what we can tell, is that they just wanted their IP to get big. Like in a short period of time. They wanted their IP to get big. So what they decided to do was basically go around video game makers when video games were kind of becoming a thing, and they still do it now. They go to them and they just go, hey, you want to make a video game based on our IP? We have pretty good rates for, split of income and all that. And they do. They genuinely do. That's why you get so many like weird, awkward games like Speed Freaks and like the side-scroller orc shooter game. Like they're cool, but also why? seriously push this in? So I don't know how much money they really get from it. It's probably a really low number. Because if it attracts so many like weird companies, maybe it's because it's just way too good of a deal. Well, they're moving over to free rules because I genuinely think they're trying to get people into it by just giving them access to the rules and being like, you don't need a book. Which really did feel like a sizable issue. Alright, I'm going to try to punch that. There we go. Why is this not wanting to just go in? Go in. There we go. Oof. Okay. It's kind of a struggle if you think about it. Like, the box games should be the thing that they focus on, because buying this box, you get your terrain, all the rules, and blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a single game, which, if you look at the tabletop market, those are the games that sell. The ones where you get a box, and you can play. Congratulations. The ones that don't really sell well over long periods of time normally in that field are the ones where it's like, you have to buy this box, but then you can't play it. You have to go buy this box, and then this book. That kills it for people. The need to be like, I gotta get like 10 things before I can even really start rolling dice and telling my friends they're terrible. God, I don't want to do it anymore. So like, they focus on the big boxes because it is good money, but it's also to try to pull in new people. Like, the amount of people at the store who went in and were like, I've never been here before, I'm buying this box. It was kind of crazy. Oh, and dude, Thousand Suns at the store, completely sold out. The unintended consequence of Space Marine 2 was people going, oh, Thousand Suns are actually kind of cool. Everyone's out here like, oh, everyone's going to want to play Space Marines now. You see people in armor walking through portals and teleporting around while shimmering. Yeah, no. Those are the ones you want to play. Not the dude who's just like, I'm gonna dude bro my way through this. Yo, okay. The Space Marine 2 Target board game got reboxed. Did you see that? So Target was like, hey, let's get rid of these because they've been sitting on our shelf forever. So they were like $12. 12 whole dollars. You could buy, what is it? It's like 60? No, what was it? It was like 20 or 30 Gaunts for $12. You could fill all the Gaunts you could possibly purchase for super cheap because those were the new Gaunt models. From what I understand, someone looked at them and was like, yeah, those are the new Gaunt models. You could have them all. You could just and they were all shooters. Like, you could have the full amount of shooters you needed for $12 per. Titus is a bonus. Dude, the weirdest part of this game is looking for the weird side games that can give you models for way cheaper. Yeah, but okay, you had to go into the store. So my friend went, I went there, I bought it, it's $12. I told people at my local Discord about it. They went to the store and it was $40 and they were like, whatever. But then one of them was like, over here they're $12. And then everyone went over there and started buying it for $12. And then the game got reboxed and sold in Games Workshop stores for $40, like immediately after the Target sale. But it's like I was saying about the push fit models, right? So, question, how much is, let me take a look. We're almost done building. I'm kind of stalling. I'm stalling. Huh. Warhammer 40k. Armies of the Imperium. Agents. Okay. Let me do something for you guys real quick. Let me actually quickly take a look through here before I do it. Okay. Where's the other one? No, there should be one more. Is it a... No, there it is. Oh, do they not sell it separately? They have to. Oh, they do sell it separately. Why is it not on here? I've seen it in a store on its own. All right, we'll just go with these two. You guys might be familiar with this. It's the Navigator. Agents of the Imperium. Push fit model. $35. I call this one the Servo Pope. Might be familiar with him as well. Let me get the camera to actually do what it's supposed to do. Servo Pope. $35. There's a box that Barnes & Noble sold called Combat Arena. It had these. It had the Flamethrower Sister. It has a Man of Iron. It has a Rogue Trader, which I think you can use for a lot of cool stuff. It has a Ranger. It has a Kroot. It has some Ratlings, a Space Marine, and I bought it for $15. That's the oddity of Games Workshop, in my opinion. It's realizing that what you're actually looking to do is purchase odd boxes of stuff from other game modes where they're trying to get people into wanting to play the game from like Barnes & Noble or just like other weird companies. And you're like, huh, I'll grab that. And Barnes & Noble, they get access to the characters. They get access to elements of the game. And then they kind of create their own rule sets and stuff for it. And then they throw it out in the world. And the world goes, ah, that's cool. And then they're like, yeah, it's like $20. And they're like, oh, all right, cool. You know, try to pull them into the bigger game. And then people buy it. They put the pieces together and they have them. They're like, oh, it's kind of cool. And then down the road, $35 per. Like seriously, all the models I also have the Flamethrower chick, who I think is another $35 model from the Agents. So like for $20 about, I have way too many expensive models just out of nowhere. I mean, it is honestly what I think Games Workshop needs. One of two things is going to happen, really. Wait, is it seriously just like that? Oh my god, they want it to be like right next to it. Okay, game. Okay. So they want it to be flat. So it does need to be out a bit further. Okay. What they need is they need a service or a product that pulls them a ton of money. That doesn't like... It's not Warhammer. Like this is kind of the thing with their business model. They need that thing that's going to bring them a ton of money. And if you pay attention to the actions they take to try and do that in day-to-day life, like with their TV shows and trying to expand their IPs to then sell to companies like Amazon to create shows and stuff like that, it's just so they can try to like earn money from their IP. But if they can do it consistently maybe prices drop, but probably not. I mean, it's kind of pie in the sky, I guess. Because this kind of is like their moneymaker. And if it really starts to fall apart, like, I don't know. I don't know if they can recover. They keep trying all these other avenues, and rarely do they succeed. Like, Kill Team started to succeed, which is why they're doing all that they're doing right now for it. No, yeah. They're raising prices mostly in the areas that sell the most to offset costs elsewhere. Because, dude, there's no way. Even with the price increase, Blue Horrors, you get 10 Blue Horrors in a box, and then you get 10 Brimstones in the same box. And it's like $40. It's 20 models for $40. Like, AOS is still low because interest in AOS is low. So I feel like they're trying to make 40k the workhorse that carries everything else. What time is it? 11 o'clock? I kind of want to chill. Chat. I kind of want to watch my video, script what I need to do for tomorrow's pictures, and then just hang out. Because we're done building. We got all the terrain set, which is cool. Simple half wall. Accessible door. The window here, unless you're within an inch of it, is not able to be seen through. Full box. It is considered to be close quarters if you're being attacked inside of here. And then if you're like along the wall here and someone comes over and attacks you with fighting, fight first. And then accessible door. A lot of accessible doors on this. One there. Got the super balcony. Another one of those grid windows. Accessible door. So every piece has an accessible door. Except this one. Oh, wait, I do have to glue one more thing. I was wondering. I was like, wait, where's the other tiny one? These are kind of push fit because they have the multi-grid snaps. That's weird. And then a bunch of light and heavy basic terrain. I think these are insignificant. These are usually just put inside of these buildings as sort of like stepping stone stuff. Which actually we can take a look. So the approved ops setup battle, standard, select operatives, sure. Setup operatives, it's based on initiative roll. Starting with the player with initiative, note it's item by item, not option by option. Alternating setting up equipment items, okay. Each player alternates setting up a third. Scouting options, which scouting options are nice now. Play battle, end battle. There used to be a backside to these cards. But now you can, I guess, use it as like a screen to reveal your team. Let's see. Killzone, Vulcus. So you're supposed to roll a dice. Let me turn this down. So yeah, everything is basically predetermined. It's similar to how Beta Decima works. It's similar to how Into the Dark works. You just have to kind of measure. Looks like mostly it's walls usually go to deployment zones, although it's a little weird. Like, how do you measure that? Normally in 40K, when they show this kind of stuff, they're usually like, oh yeah, you place this corner like 4 inches up and whatever. Like you have the measurements. But this is like eyeball it, which is kind of weird if I'm not, like, this is odd, right? They show you the deployment zones, but are these inches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's obnoxious. These are inches. The little mini squares, which means you would basically go from center line 1 inch, 2 inch. If you wanted these to be like exact for the competitive side of things, you would literally have to measure the squares as inches. Yep. Because then it's this gets placed 5 inches out and then just goes vertical along the line, whereas this gets placed 6 inches. Kind of interesting. Yeah, ITD boards. Basic. Actually kind of interesting. I like this. This one I like. They have asymmetrics. This one's interesting. This is actually really cool. This is dumb, in my opinion. Having walls like this backed by your deployment zones, but then this is like a dead zone. That's not that interesting. But this is actually, okay, so in the last couple seasons, they always tried to make Into the Dark completely symmetrical. Because, you know, like, it's trying to be balanced. You have the 6 objectives. They need to be in exact spots. So for the most part, Gallo Dark, all that, it was always symmetrical. These are mostly asymmetrical. Extended there. This is like its own room, but this is an extended long room that gives advantage to this team. Having this be the hallway here versus this being a whole room, that's kind of interesting. This having this kind of weird shape. That's actually all really cool. I like this. Close quarters. These maps could be interesting. I feel like a lot of people are going to be pissed about them, though. So, when you pick in the game, when you're always like attacker, defender, and you pick your side, that never felt like it mattered. It feels like it matters here. Like, if you're the kind of team where you're like, this is my setup, I need this. Like, you're basically fighting over this room while holding this room easily because you have a door right there, and there's no door here. So you basically just pop in and hold this and make sure that that door can't get to you. Like, you could put a mine right there and then just hold this room easily. There's so many competitive players that are going to hate this for being asymmetrical, but I actually really think it's a good idea. For how the teams differ, it makes the attacker-defender role more important. Let's check these out. Beta Decima. Symmetrical? No, asymmetrical. Yeah, they're leaning hard into asymmetrics. Even the Vulcus maps. I mean, the Vulcus maps look like they're going to be asymmetrical regardless, because you have a 2-story and a 1-story as your main focuses of terrain. So someone's going to get access to the 2-story. Someone's going to get access to the 1-story. I don't even think they're the same size, right? Yeah. Like one's like a third of the size, or 1/3 more. About the right. These are kind of close. That's cool. I like that they're leaning into that. So even this is slightly off. It's close, but just minorly being like, all right, this is here, kind of gives other teams that might like this an advantage of like helping this versus this, which gives your team, if it's melee potential, the easier ability to get up and then attack. Also, the gap. So jumping is kind of cool, and I might need to double check the video I'm putting together about it, because I noticed I was kind of wrong when I first started talking about it. So I kind of tried to shimmy the examples I was showing you guys in the video to be like, oh, I get it now. Let me run a scenario. So, you remember how jump used to work, guys? Remember old jump? Where old jump was take a test until they stopped that, which, yes, they needed to stop that. So, old jump simply meant that if you had X amount of distance between you and where you wanted to go. Turn this back up. Example, Phobos. So if you were here and you were like, all right, I'm going to jump. You would measure. You would go, okay, 4 inches. Cool. And you would take your test, and then you would appear over here. And what this was explicitly was basically like, it's the most amount of distance you can move from a ledge to another ledge. Also, a 1 inch up down. So if there was like a slight difference in height here, you'd still make it. I think this is a little different. These are actually a little shorter, which is interesting. It's the same kind of terrain. So there's the 1 inch difference between here and here. It's probably a little less. It's like a 1/2 inch. It would still work. Like you'd straight line at least 4 inches, drop down. In this version, dropping down the 1 inch is negated if you're doing the jump action specifically. An inch is negated. It's really weirdly worded, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna double check it before I, complete the video. But what's interesting about jump, or at least I think it's interesting about jump, the 4 inches. Let me do this. So, kind of in the old rules, a person being here would kind of prevent you from jumping. Like, it would basically drop. Jump only really helped you to go across things. But the way jump works now is you would pretty much go, all right, here I am. I want to go here, right? Maybe you're charging. It's completely possible. But you don't want to be like, all right, I'm falling here. Maybe you want to be here. So you would measure the 4. We'll measure from the back, just so we know. So the back of his base is here. Honestly, this line is 1 inch. It means the back of his base is further than 1 inch from here. So if I don't want to get into combat, I can go, I'm jumping 4 inches out. Negate the first inch of drop. There I am. So 4, probably 1 or 2 to get to here. Off the single action, which close to a 6. Maybe I shoot and then dash away. Or something. Like, you can do weirder things with jump now. Because jump is basically an extension from a ledge that is 4 inches from your base in a straight line. And it is considered a flat line that you can technically go down an inch, which is why you negate the inch. And then from there, drop occurs. Fun stuff. What are the rules? And for any of you out there, as I move this rubber band and make weird noises with this microphone, any rules you've seen in the rule book that you're like, what is that? Why is that? What thing does that do? Anything? If you got a question, let me know right now, and I'll see what I can do to show you stuff. Outside of that, I think we're just about done. 11:24, that'll give me some time to watch my video and hang out and watch some other streams and stuff. Because I'm getting tired. But if you can think of anything where you're like, I read that in the rulebook and I honestly don't understand it, I'm down to Q&A for a minute or two. I do got to think about what we're doing tomorrow or Monday. Monday, I'm going to start streaming again. We might build the Vespids. I think that might be too much if I'm thinking about it. Honestly, I might just set up the paint area, get all my airbrush stuff back up here, and we might just do the terrain. Okay. Yeah, because I was just figuring if somebody looked at the rules and was like, wait, what's this for? Wait, why this? Like, okay. I can think of one. This is one that people have been bringing up with, and I do bring it up in the rules video. So, there's an old holdover of a rule. That rule explicitly says you cannot augment the move stat of a person below 4. Oh, scouting step's the same thing as it was, where you do the cards to see who has initiative. But, so you can't augment the move stat below 4. Right. Barbed wire. Barbed wire reduces... I can show you in a second. That's fine. Barbed wire reduces anyone's move... Here, let me pull this up then. Let me do. Oh, God. I completely forgot. I don't know where the universal gear is in here. It's like the one thing I hate about this book. I don't know where stuff is. It goes straight to terrain, and then I don't think it talks about universal gear. So, redeploy, reposition is the move. The active operative, move the active operative up to its move stat to a location it can be placed. So, move stat, good. So, currently, move stat 6, right? See if I can find... I wonder if the card has it. Cards shouldn't have the universals. There's the ops. Co-op. Put it somewhere else. So barbed wire does two things. If I'm going to climb over this barbed wire, whenever you do a climb action, it's bare minimum 2. So the measurement of the actual barbed wire is about 1.5. Okay? Guaranteed 2. Barricades, I know they got rid of traverse. Barricades are 1, still cost 2. When you drop, you negate, I want to say, an inch, if I'm not mistaken. No, yeah, dude, I hate the new app. I like that they're doing it. I hate that it exists. In the form that it does. It needs to not be that way. So dropping, you can negate 2 from the drop. So the whole concept, and it's 2 total over the course of the maneuver. So this would be, the drop here would be negated, but it would still cost a total of 2 to go up to then go over. But because you're moving within control range of this, I think it's actually further than control range. I'm trying to find the universal equipment chart, which is starting to piss me off a little bit. Because I still don't know why I just don't know where the universal equipment chart is. Like, in general. It's on the other side of the beta decima info. No. I'm just going to pull it up. I'm pulling it up in the phone. I could have swore it was in the rulebook, but I can't remember where it was in the rulebook. If it is. I'm pretty sure it is. It has to be. Let me... Kill team vids. How to kill team rules update. Cards. Not cards. Why do I feel like I should know where this is? I was watching my video I'm making today, and I was looking through it, and I was like, all right, yeah, good. I got the rules right. Good. And then I realized I completely forgot to talk to you guys about the ladders. Like, I got to the point where I was listening to the equipment. I was like, wait, did I not say anything about the ladders? And I had to go back through and completely change, like, all of it. Glossary. Oh, it's page 70. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. What? Oh no. I think universal equipment is in the other book. Why would they put it here? Oh my God. Okay, so universal equipment's in this book. So razor wire. Whenever an operative would cross the terrain feature within an inch, treat the distance as an additional 2. So 2 to go up, minus 2. That actually gets you below 4. You only have 2 inches here. So technically, in this situation. I didn't see it at all in the other one. But yeah, technically, from this position, you have to be able to clear the whole thing on just 2 inches. So with bigger bases, this is an issue because you basically need to be right next to it to do it. Smaller bases, you might have a little bit of leeway. But you only have 2 inches to go over top of this from a 6-inch move. So like Votan, yeah, no. It's control range. And also, I bring this up in the video. There's a lot of new maps that are like this. You can do that. Like, this screws so many people up. And you can use, I'm pretty sure you can use barbed wire in close quarters. I don't think barbed wire is restricted from close quarters. Let me take a look. Because you can basically drop barbed wire in one hallway in close quarters and be like, I don't care anymore. Like, if it's just in the hallway, you can just be like, whatever. Nothing's coming at me from that way. You just walk away. But yeah, scouting step. As asked by Arturo. Oh, there it is. So the scouting step in approved ops is a little different than just the general gameplay. Because it actually has like a bit more to it. But yeah. You get those cards. Oh no. So scouting. Each player secretly selects one of the pre-game scouting cards. Again, I've already brought up my weird gripe that the deck has enough of the big op cards for 2 players, and then all the other cards are only for 1. It's weird. But what you can do is you can pick up X amount of dice, either 1, 2, or 3, put them in your hand without people seeing, and then show the amount of dice you have in your hand at the start to be like, this is what I choose. So what you'll do is you just pick one of these in the scouting step. You reveal together. If a person chose equip, that person beats ploy, and basically just around this little triangle, right? So equip beats ploy, ploy beats reposition, reposition beats equip. And it's just a way to see who gets initiative based on what you want as like an enhancement or an upgrade to your general beginning of the game. If you both choose the same thing, I believe there's a specific. Players in reveal. Player with initiative resolves their selection first. Initiative is decided by the player when the scouting step. Equip beats ploy. Ploy beats blah, blah, blah. If it's a tie, player that didn't have initiative during the setup decides. So the way they decided, I guess, to go with it, you roll for initiative at the beginning to see who sets up. Whoever has initiative gets to, generally do that. And then if you tie, whoever set up first, I believe, from having initiative first, or maybe who rolled Hang on. Let me double check something. Player with initiative selects one drop zone. Their opponent has the other. Each player secretly gets their team. Each player secretly selects 4 equipments. Each player gains 2 CP. This is unique to this mode. The CP gain exists in the book, but the starting CP, I think, exists here specifically for this mode. Each player secretly selects tack. Each player alternates setting up, starting with player with initiative. So initiative gets to choose their side. Determine the kill zone set of terrain. Determine roll off. Winner. Okay. So this is where when you win the initiative roll, you can choose who has initiative. So you don't have to pick your side and set up first. It's still kind of like defender attacker, but without all the extra like terminology. It's just you roll a dice, you point to the person, either you or your opponent. That person gets to pick the side first, and then they will set up their first 3. Then when you pick this, if you tie, the other person who didn't have that initial setup goes first. But if it's not a tie, it's whatever it is. If you pick ploy and they pick reposition, you win. So you'll be able to go first. I think, let me see, because one of the Games Workshop things that's a little different, some games force you to go with whoever has initiative or whoever gets the thing. Some let you choose. So you can choose for the initial dice roll, but can you choose for this one? First turning point, initiative is decided by the player who won. The player who didn't have initiative. So, yeah, it's whoever wins. So you get to choose at the top. I don't think you choose here. It's whoever gets the cards or whoever, actually gets selected here. So that's kind of the scouting step. It's just determining what you want. Like, reposition, perform a free reposition. You have to end within 3 inches of your drop zone. This means you get a full move, but you can't extend past 3 inches from your drop zone. It's pretty easy. It's just like dash before, although dash gained fly. But that's gone now. Fly is basically dead and buried as a universal. Everyone has like a unique, weird version of it. During the first strategy phase, you can select a strategic ploy for 0 CP. This is actually really powerful. For a lot of teams, this is hugely powerful. Like, there's a lot of teams that can do a 1 command point ploy in the first turn where they reposition like 4 units or something. Like, there's some pretty wild ones. I realize my music is now not going. Hiya. And the last one just gives you an extra equipment, which, again, could be pretty powerful. This, okay. Hearthkin Salvagers get this passively. But you can also, I think, get this on top of it. Hearthkin Salvagers can have 6 total equipment if they want it in this mode. God, that's actually crazy if you think about it. Because they have a Grenadier, and the Grenadier gets access to the grenades without needing them, like, for the equipment. So technically you could go this. You could pick some of your team gear. I think there's like 2 or 3 good team gear. And then you still have 3 things to choose from, which could be like heavy wall, mobile wall, and then razor wire or double wall. Like, you could have so much terrain on the field from playing Hearthkin. Oh my god, that's crazy. I think Hearthkin are awesome. And I think no one's going to play them effectively. Like, they're just really cool. Everyone's all about the edgelord dwarves, the Jaegers. But yeah. Alright, I'm going to get to watching my video to see what I got to get for pictures or recording tomorrow, and listen for mistakes and things I skipped over by accident. Because this video I want to be complete and good. It's getting late, I'm getting tired, and we've got a lot of painting to do on Monday. We'll do terrain completely painted before we then go into... Honestly, with this, I think I might prime it black and then just do like a quick pass. I think that could be good. But yeah, we got to get all that done. Probably this week we'll try to get all the terrain done, or at least baseline done. Could be nice. Could be good. Thanks for hanging out. Weird Saturday stream. Didn't expect. Till next time, guys. Later.